Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Girls dream that they'd be your partner, they'd be your partner, and you're so vain.
Little Carly Simon at 9:32 and a lot of Mike Weller. How are we doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Cold.
Yeah. It's not bad in here.
No, well, you know what's wild is I did it to myself. I have a space heater in my office, and it's like 400 degrees in there, so I stepped out to go to the studio and went, oh my God, this is unbearable.
Right.
I can't believe we're working in these conditions.
Shout out to everybody who's working out in the cold right now. You guys are just the real deal.
Well,
So
I was talking to Jim Lewis, the Godfrey Streets director, on Friday, and
Right.
just talking about, man, being in that truck even for
Right.
4 or 5 hours is brutal, too.
you can't wear all the clothes.
Right.
You can't.
Like Ralphie's brother,
yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, you can't. Not operate the truck and drop the salt and all that. I mean, you can't wear all the clothes, so you're gonna freeze.
Well,
so.
what I thought was cool too, Mike, is and I'm not going to put him on blast, but the other day I was driving down Broadway to pick up a vape because I need to quit nicotine.
Sure.
And there was somebody out talking to a few of the less fortunate that were homeless and saying, hey, here's what's open today. And I thought that's really cool because some do have ways to communicate online, but I
Right.
thought it was great that there were folks on the ground saying, hey, here's
Sure.
some places that are open, let's get warm. And
Sure.
we have a bunch of cool spots like that around town
Yeah.
to make sure people are safe.
Yeah. I
think it's cool.
And I don't think the city's like trying to, there's other cities that will hit them up with charging them a fine for operating a hotel.
$750. Get out of
A
here.
day.
Yeah.
A day.
I don't think that's going to turn out too well. I just don't see it.
No.
But you know what? Keep up the good work. And getting back just to last week at Alt Main Street's appreciation party, man, that was fun.
That was something. That was a surprise to me.
Really?
So it was all kept secret from me.
No kidding.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have allowed it.
Yeah. Not funny. I was thinking about that while they were talking about the awards you were bestowed
Right.
upon, and I thought, there's no way Mike takes any type of award,
No.
and that's just not you.
No, and it was for recognition for developing 100 West 3rd,
Yeah.
right? So the first floor. There's still 2 more floors that are beyond pretty at all. Not even started. So, and you got guys in town that are developing multi-million-dollar projects. You got guys developing, at a faster rate than I am, and it just definitely didn't feel deserving at all. I mean, it was a ton of work. It was a ton of work by, I had so many friends helping out too, and of course Emily was just a rock star and the whole thing.
Right.
So her and I. So funny story. We had 135 12-foot sheets of drywall dropped off. So they wouldn't take it in because it was COVID, right?
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah, just COVID.
You can't take it in there. Might be COVID.
Oh my God.
So this stack is taller than us, obviously, and so her and I moved. So we kept them in double stacks, which is 140 pounds for a double stack.
Yeah.
And Emily and I carried all of it in. We stopped midway, went to Sammy's, got a sandwich to get some more fuel, and then she goes, "Is anybody gonna steal it?" And I'm like, "I hope they do. I don't want to move it in anymore."
You know what? If they take it, hats off to them.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we moved it in two at a time in that building, and if anything, that whole building, and it's. As much as I do love this town, and I absolutely try to put on all the time for this town, but it was really, it was for Mom, and it was that was the big thing, and it was, after Mom, it becomes Emily's, and so it was this whole thing between the three of us. So it really wasn't. It's nice because I like to see that Mom and Emily's work got recognized as well. But as the building owner, it's just far from done. And it's like I have to cover the windows in the next couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I got hit by the city and First Ward and everybody else who's crabbing that. Those windows have been there for 20 years, and now it's my responsibility. But whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's election season in 2025, Mike. We're already there. We're a year away from consolidated elections too.
They better stop picking on me. So, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, and getting back to the building too, because I feel like in a lot of ways, if I was in your shoes, that I got all this to fix, and even though the first work, because it does look beautiful on that base level.
Sure.
when you go up different stairs, it's almost like a different world hits you, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what frustrates you, too, whenever you go up there, you see how nice it is on the ground floor, and they're like, damn, I got 2 more floors to go.
So the first floor is for Mom, and I'm
Right.
going to tell you that, like, I don't make a dime
That
on
is
her.
so
Yeah,
cool.
I don't make any money on it. Like, she pays the taxes and the insurance on the building, and then so reno, the building costs, everything else is still on me.
Yep.
And so getting to the second and third floor, the verbal bid I got on those windows to replace was $70,000.
A piece?
No.
Oh, total. Okay,
all
thank
of
God.
them. Yeah,
Okay,
there's
but still, that's 70
20-something.
grand.
Yeah, 70 grand, and that's I'm just a smidge shy of that, like 70,000 shy of 70,000. But it's one of those things that like I don't. So it's like I don't even like to look at the building because it's just, it doesn't represent like, the first floor does. You walk in the first floor, it's beautiful. You know, everybody's really happy. We're still working out bugs with the first floor. So like the next day after that awards banquet, and it's like, you did a great job. And I'm like, oh, this place is falling apart already. So I'm already on the first floor working on stuff, but it's old building stuff. This is just what we do down here. So, and throughout the town, all the houses are old. So
People would be surprised to how much maintenance goes into pretty much every one of these downtown buildings.
Oh, it's constant, and it's like I'm going to tell you a funny story. We got the building done May of 22. We got Mom in May 22, and like every other day I'd get a phone call. Hey, this isn't working, or hey, this needs done, or hey, and then I was like, I just want 1 week, and then I get a week, and then I get a phone call, and then I'm like, just give me a month, and then finally we got a lot of the little bugs worked out, and then it's like. And I didn't hear anything for like all last summer, and then I think we had a couple of things this winter, furnace wouldn't light and stuff like that. So anyway, it's just one of those things where like whenever I get a phone call about it and I'm like, oh, here we go again, because it's never just one thing.
No.
It's like it comes in threes just like everything else, right? So it's like, so today I got to go and like the furnace obviously isn't going to keep up with the room full of windows.
No.
So I got to go over there to turn on some space heaters about 3-4 o'clock. So that way, that class is warm,
Right.
It's at least bearable, I mean, so yeah, it's the building was absolutely a nightmare to do, like I was physically just broken, mentally broken, the whole works,
I bet.
But it's just watching her smile, seeing the things that she gets to do there, that's it. Like I said,
invaluable.
I'll do it a million times over.
Well, and that's one thing, because I think a lot of times in the public, and I'm not picking on them, but sometimes when they see, all this money or something's getting put into a building, it's, well, they don't understand really how much work all these buildings need, because they go, well, why don't you just buy this building and just throw something in there?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a great idea if we could do it. Sure. We just got to make sure we can live in it first or work in it first.
Yeah, so I mean, that building alone was literally falling in on itself.
I bet.
So we that actually took the whole budget that I planned for reno.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but it was also COVID, so everything was double, triple, quadruple what it should have been. Mm-hmm. But just supporting the building took that budget, and then. So then after that, it was just hats already off. So let's just go ahead and go.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah. So, it's like, why we're not going to stop and then turn around and, we can't stop at that point. So, yeah, there was no plumbing down there. Now it's got 2 bathrooms. There was, it was missing a lot of the floor in the back because the roof leaked so bad. Yeah. So before we could start construction, we had to fix the roof. We had to support the building, then fix the roof. So, like, it was just to like we weren't even to that drywall.
I was ready to say, I don't know.
We're not even to the drywall yet. So we had amazing people helping along the way, and there's nothing I could have done without them.
Are you planning on doing Airbnbs on the second floor? I know that was mentioned. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about that.
All I'm trying to do is find out like the 7 numbers,
right.
Something to do with the lottery or Powerball or something. And then, but yeah, no, I would love to get that done, or sell it to someone who could develop into Airbnbs. So I just want the building to, be a peaceful place. Airbnbs above a yoga studio are fantastic. I can't put a business on the second floor.
Yeah.
So I think like just temporary housing. And I think downtown Alton could really benefit a lot from overnight stays. I don't think there's enough of them. So
well, and I was kind of in a debate about this because I said it on the show, and they go, oh, well, you don't want to turn in St. Louis. We don't have the numbers for that to happen. I mean, they go, you get a few parties, but be honest with you, we don't have 300,000 people floating in the city. I mean, that's an easily manageable number if you have 40 guests for a weekend, you know? So I think that sometimes people see what happens over there and they think it translates, and it does not.
No, and it doesn't. And what we need housing for is we have a lot of people that come in town for that, not just work, but just for the weekend, for scenery and for weddings. And, you know, a lot of people from St. Louis love coming here because it is the slower side. You know, it is the more peaceful side. So, and you know, they stay overnight. They stay in Grafton. Why? Because they have a bunch of guest houses. So why don't we have a bunch of spots to stay here? So, and
we have the nightlife for it. You know, I mean, I really believe that. And we have some great spots where you can, it's a lot better for a guest to go, well, I can actually stay out and enjoy the night. I don't have to worry about calling my Uber at 9:30 to get back to St. Louis or wherever you got to go.
Right.
You can just walk, 100 feet and get upstairs.
Absolutely. So, yeah, and we just don't have that offered down here.
No.
And it'd be nice to get that eventually done.
I agree completely. Right. You got a moment to stick around?
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Awesome. 9:43, let me pay a bill. Mike Weller continues with me in studio right after this on this very brutally cold Monday morning in downtown Alton.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBenderRadio.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
It's gonna be a long, long time. Touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh, no, no, no.
Microphone was off because I would be out of a job today. 9:46, welcome back. Oh, Mike. Getting back just to everything you got working, I know that you have rolling events and all that to bring people in, but I like the fact that you do the St. Louis scene too, and you have those cigar meetups. And didn't you have one in November or October that was, you had the St. Louis guys coming in and you guys had an evening over here at the cigar shop?
Yeah, so we there's a couple different cigar groups, and mostly on Facebook. And so a lot of them will just rotate around to different cigar shops. Uh-huh. And so, when it's our turn, we just try to put on for them and really, I walk them around downtown before it gets super busy. I show them the different places to hang out because they're open later than we are, So, it's fun to show off the town to the tourist. We get roughly, I'd say on a conservative note, we have 100 tourists every month that come in just to get cigars.
Wow.
So they're coming there's people that are visiting town that come and get cigars, but we have 100 that come just for cigars. So from an hour and a half away. So what we accidentally did, I guess, was build a destination business.
Yeah.
But we couldn't have done that without having the rest of downtown Alton.
Yep,
so
I agree.
that's why it's so neat and so easy to market to 2 hours away. Like if we had stays, it'd be even easier because now you can just stay here overnight.
Right.
But
and honestly, Mike, I was telling whenever I was over at KTRS, we would talk about it all the time because they talk about some new event like a crawl or some type of Main Street organization started. I'm like, well, Alton's already got this. Alton's already got this. And I think there's a weird disconnect with that waterway sometimes where we think we're on this weird island disconnected from St. Louis, but I think we could be a very vibrant part, and we already are, and it shows with what the 100 a month shows, and it also shows with all the people at Fast Eddie's coming into Max and Cat Daddy's and all these great spots to shop on Broadway. Right. It shows every weekend.
Right. No, and if you drive up and down Broadway when it's not zero.
Yeah, right, it's true if your car will start.
Right, yeah, if your car will start and you can drive down Broadway, you could see that, like, it's really neat that during the daytime, Broadway, like East Broadway, is just busy. There's just everywhere's busy. And then in the evening, when those guys shut down, downtown's busy.
You're right.
And it's really neat that people can enjoy themselves shopping and eating and drinking and just enjoying life really on one corridor, from East Broadway to downtown. It's really awesome.
I think the camaraderie that the business owners have with each other goes a long way, too. And I always say that because, if you have a bunch of people that don't talk to each other,
sure,
you can't get anything done because you're all going to work on different things without realizing it. And that's why I think it's great to have Main Street and all these great groups that really come in and bring everyone together and have, morale-boosting events, but also informative meetings to make sure we're all on the same page. And I think it shows, too, just seeing you walking down, Broadway or 3rd Street with, maybe a Caleb Lewis or somebody else that you're walking with. And it's cool to see that networking of, business owners where it's just a nice walk down the neighborhood, but you're still growing together.
And what's funny is we probably get more work done in that 5-minute walk than we do the rest of the day. Like it's amazing when you can sit outside like Luciana's, have coffee, and then, meet up with somebody who just walks by, sits down, and they're another business owner. They got 10 minutes, and it's like the most productive or uplifting 10 minutes that you're going to have that
what's
day.
funny? I told Hartman that over in St. Louis once, and I got in trouble by the boss at the radio station because he goes, how do you get things done over there? I go, by not being in your office all day. That's it. I go, if you're a part of the community, you'll get a lot of work done.
Yeah.
It's just part of it.
Yeah, and that's I stopped by the coffee house. I stopped by, and it's one of those things that we wouldn't be as busy as we were, or as busy as we are, if it wasn't for every local business person saying, AP Cigar.
Right.
So it's I'm thankful for everyone that says our name,
Absolutely.
and it's nice being the only game in town, so you don't have to choose sides. So that part's kind of cool.
Right.
But it's definitely, you still didn't have to say my name. So it's nice if somebody mentions cigars, they say AP Cigar, or they say, go talk to Mike.
Yeah.
So it's really, it's a true blessing to be in a small enough town that works like that.
I honestly wanted to throw this out, too. I guess now is the proper time since we're already into this interview. I did not know Vicky was your mom at all. Whenever I had Riverbend Yoga on, never once made the connect, because I never ask questions. I just think, let's talk about cool stuff.
You don't ask the 23andMe before they come on? You should ask.
I have an extractor. They don't know it.
Yeah, we need a family tree before we come in. Yeah, no.
That's so cool. Yeah. I was thinking about that, but one last Main Street anecdote. Roger Lewis and Caleb Lewis with Main Street are the only reasons I have a show here.
Oh, really?
No one really knows that. I thought I put it in an article, but didn't. But I'll say it here. I met with them at Post Comments. I was tired of getting paid $11 an hour running the boards and producing 4 shows.
Right.
And they gave me the idea. They go, let's do it.
Very cool.
So I think it's cool that Main Street's, encompassing mission and just people like Caleb and yourself, really elevate in different ways that nobody ever hears about, too.
Old Main Street does so much that, like, nobody even, so I sit on the board and I go to as many board meetings as I can. And I'm going to tell you, these, the director, Sarah, just works way harder than anybody else does.
Yeah, she does.
And so, like, our job is to take a little bit off her plate to help out. And it's like, that doesn't seem like enough. It's like we need to, I need to do more for sure, just to kind of help with promoting more events and cool stuff. So,
well, and I think it's cool that you guys have a way where, when you see a Sarah or anyone else on the board doing something that's putting in a lot of work, it's like, well, let's, check myself for a second. Am I doing the work? Well, now let's raise it up a little bit, and y'all keep raising each other up by just higher standards.
Right.
I got to ask you about cigars because I got a couple of minutes left.
Sure.
On a cold day like this, what are you smoking?
Nothing.
No way. For
Outside?
Real? No, inside.
Oh, inside. You're lucky I showed up.
You
man.
should have seen me in my Pall Mall and my smoker's robe this morning.
No, it's terrible. Nobody should be smoking outside.
But if you're in the lounge,
if you're in the lounge, so what's funny is I was just kind of looking at what we're selling. Just to see if the trends change because it is getting colder, and it kind of goes with normally what I do. I go with the darker cigar. It's almost like beer. So
that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah, it's kind of like beer. So I've noticed the Maduros is the darker wrapper leaf. The Maduros are selling a little bit more now. So the cold snap hit us already. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to watch and nerd out on some of the stats like that.
Well, that's what I was thinking about the other day because I was telling Mike upstairs. I said, "Well, Mike Weller's coming on today, and I'm going to ask him a little bit about cigars." And we were talking. I bet it's like beer, where if it gets colder, you want something heavier.
Right.
But if it's warmer outside and you're doing something like golf, you want a lighter smoke.
Oh yeah. So that's typical. I mean, there's always exceptions to the rule, but yeah, it's kind of fun watching. I was just looking at numbers probably yesterday, and just watching the Maduros, just start to tick up a little bit more across the board. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Got time to tell you a couple of events coming up?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about.
Awesome. So first quarter is our worst quarter. Why? Because it's 0 degrees.
Good livery.
Yeah, nobody's golfing or barbecuing or having bonfires or really leaving the house as they should. And so to celebrate as we get closer to the end of first quarter, the last day of January, February, and March, we're going to have just like a little get-together at the cigar shop. We're going to go out and buy local business gift cards. And then so we're going to give away 3. So you don't have to be present to win. But we're going to draw for 3 local business gift cards. We're going to draw for 2 like cigar swag, cutters, lighters, stuff like that. And then we'll have a grand prize of one of these giant, huge, multi-$1,000 humidors. So we're giving away about 10 to 20, probably close to $18,000 worth of merchandise altogether in the next 3 in the next 3 months, right? So to get a ticket, you come in, you buy a cigar, and then you're entered into the drawing. So we'll draw all those tickets in February, or in January, pardon me. So the last day at 5 o'clock of every month, January, February, March. And then, pardon me, and then we're going to do a lot of door prizes, so other gift certificates, stuff like that. So if you're free to come down around 5 o'clock, we'll start the drawings at 5 on the last day of each month. We try to... we're giving back to those businesses I said earlier that mention our names so much. So we're going to go around and give them our money that we made over the summer, because we're not making any now. We're going to go give them our money, and support them whenever, because their support, which was just mentioning us or talking about us or commenting or sharing or any of those things that don't cost a thing, now are going to earn you something. I'm going to come spend some money with you. I'm going to buy some gift certificates. I'm going to buy gift cards. And I want to also advertise and showcase these people that have been showing us love.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we want to give back to the local businesses that have been supporting us, and then we're going to give away some cigar swag that we accumulated over the year, or for this last year.
Right.
And then we have like 3 really nice humidors we're going to give away too. So
that's talk about a hell of a way to end an interview, Mike.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the details. So 5 p.m. you have to if you want to hang out.
Yeah, if you want a chance at door prizes. So like SHB last year, Secondhand Barrels, they did some cool stuff for the door prizes and stuff like that. And I'm sure they'll be on this for this year too. They're just rocking and rolling busy too.
Yeah, so they are.
They always are. They're fantastic. So I'm going to get with SHB. We do have some of their smalls still in stock. After Christmas, not a lot, and we still got some barrel heads and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so 5 p.m. on the last day of the next 3 months, so January, February, and March, and then hopefully in April it's warm and we're golfing and we're barbecuing and we're motorcycle riding and we're doing all these things. I don't like being in 4 wheels.
No.
I don't like cold. I'd like to be on one or two. You know,
No kidding.
Everything. The truck barely started, and it's got 4 wheels. So
Well, I want to see who's gonna. We got to do a one-reel race between you and Hendrick upstairs because
I'll get them.
you think so?
yeah.
Now that would be fun. A one-wheel for charity race.
Yeah, I like it.
We'll do a race around the amphitheater.
I feel like that we should do like one wheel for our medical, like for our own medical bills. Yeah. So when we wreck, we're gonna need like just have EMS there, so that way we get right away care whenever we fall and break a hip.
This message powered by Survival Flight. Mike, I think this is cool, and especially this. I mean, you aren't giving. I think it's great that you're doing the business gift cards because a lot of businesses talk about supporting people on social media, but to actually do the action is what drives it home.
Not one of these people had to say our name.
Right.
And the fact that they do, the fact that they share and they comment and all these things, it doesn't go unrecognized.
No.
And I might not be able to like respond to each one and say thank you for sharing, but this is my way of saying thank you for sharing.
Right.
I mean, we could not do none of us can do any of this without sharing.
No, and that's what I think is such a huge message too, Mike, is you'll never achieve as an individual. You just won't. No. Now, unless you have $1 billion out there, but even then you'll find a way to mess it up. As a team, you'll strive and you'll achieve more together.
If you had $1 billion and you're doing it on your own, you're still really lonely.
Yeah, that's that's very true.
And this is our thing. Like I don't feel alone in this town.
No,
like everybody, we sit around, like we have our good stories and our bad stories, and sometimes we just light a cigar and vent.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to get it all out.
Well, that's why I think it's so special because, like you said, go anywhere for lunch on the left side of Broadway, and just enjoy it. And you'll stop in and you'll be talking to so many people. It's not because, and someone asked me like early days, man, everyone knows you. I go, everyone knows everybody in Alton.
Yeah.
That's what's fun about this is you can go out to Max on a Thursday night and see, everyone there maybe just talking BS, and you're still talking about things to make the town better.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what's cool.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. It's just it's such a great size of a community. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's absolutely a blast.
Absolutely. And Mike, I'm looking forward to this. If you have the opportunity on the last Friday of January,
the last day.
Oh, so damn it. The last day of January, February, and March. So that would be January 31st, February 29th, and March 31st as well. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. So March has 31.
Last day of the month, 5 p.m. We'll have some treats. We'll have like some snacks. We'll have somebody that will bring some stuff down. And
somebody has the chance to win a humidor and some awesome prizes.
Yeah, and you don't have to be present to win, but on the big stuff. But if you want to check out some door prizes, hang out and see what food we have, we had a big event with the cigar roller. I text Mac and Robbie and they sent, I'm like, so just 3 large things. Large to them is this big. We had so much food. They were so fantastic in catering for us.
That's awesome.
Sweet Little Things does a great job for us.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so they did a good job always catering our stuff and dropping stuff off too. We did, that was Christmas Day. We just opened up for people that wanted to get out. We had a chili bar, so you can do chili cheese dogs. You could have done chili cheese nachos. So, and the food was free, this is business helping business, so it's like we didn't have to, they covered the food. So that way there was just a fun place to go. On Christmas night, we opened at 5. You can go down there after the family stuff, have a cigar, crack that bottle of bourbon open you got.
And forget about the mother-in-law for a little bit.
Just for a smidge. Forget about the stress of Christmas and eat a chili dog or something, so it was a good time. So we try to do those community events. They don't net us a lot of money, but it's not about that. It's just about providing a space that's just fun to kind of get away if you enjoy cigars.
Absolutely. Mike, thank you so much for your time today. Always enjoyed talking with you too. It's 10 o'clock on the dot, but before I take a quick break, Alton Little Theater is celebrating their 90th season of being right here in Alton, and they are the longest running theater in the state of Illinois, 3rd oldest in the country. I didn't even know that.
I didn't either.
And they're celebrating all year long, and especially with this Actor Studio series where Michael Madden wrote Red Jasper. He's going to be joining us on Thursday with Lee Cox, and they're going to talk about this performance. But this is cool, where it's almost repertory style, and it's for amateur performers and veterans if they like. But they come together, they do these one-act plays. And man, they're really powerful. They just did 2 rooms last week. This week's Red Jasper, and I'm making my damn acting debut in Elephant's Graveyard on January 26th. We'll see what happens, and you got to get tickets at AltonLittleTheater.org. That's AltonLittleTheater.org. Top of the hour news next.